All right. Okay, so it is really a very, very good night for the American people. This year, I am happy to announce there will be no government shutdown. As of Friday night, the government is staying open. And because of bipartisan cooperation, we're keeping the government open without any poison pills or harmful cuts to vital programs. A great outcome for the American people. Obviously, the Republican-led House needed Democratic votes to avoid a shutdown. And I was pleased to see that the Speaker was willing to work with Democrats and resisted the siren song of the hard right in the House. And if that continues, we can avoid further shutdowns and finish the work of funding the government. Today's CR is a very good step, a good omen for the future. I hope we see more bipartisanship down the line. Every time I've spoken about a shutdown, I've stressed the need to focus on bipartisanship. Every time I've talked to the Speaker, I've said to him, if we work in a bipartisan way, we can get this done. And if the House is not bipartisan, it could very well lead to a shutdown and real harm to the American people. Bending over backwards to mollify the hard right, as speakers of the past have shown, will only create more gridlock and more chaos. So I hope that the new Speaker continues to choose the bipartisan approach, as he commendably has in his first foray. Now, keeping the government is a good outcome, of course, but we have a lot more work to do after Thanksgiving. We must finish passing President Biden's emergency supplemental with aid to Israel, Ukraine, humanitarian assistance for innocent civilians in Gaza, and funds for the Indo-Pacific. We will keep working with Leader McConnell on a way forward. I know both sides genuinely care about approving aid to Israel and Ukraine and helping innocent civilians in Gaza. So I hope we can come to an agreement, even if neither side gets everything they insist on. But we will be working on it immediately when we get back after Thanksgiving. We will also complete our work on the National Defense Authorization Act. We're moving to go to conference right now, and we had very good agreements. The motions to instruct, some of the very bad ones that neither side liked, that one side didn't like or the other, have been eliminated, and the rest will be done by voice vote. So you won't have to hang around here for votes on the motions to instruct. That's how much we care about all of you. And we have to continue work on appropriations bills as well. So it's a very busy end of the year. We have the supplemental, the defense authorization bill, and the appropriations bills. And when you look at the struggles the House is having passing their partisan appropriation bills, it shows clearly what I've been saying all along. Bipartisan is the only way to get things done.
Wow, friends, they just did it. Lawmakers in the Senate have just passed House Speaker Mike Johnson's bill to fund the U.S. government. Now the bill is being sent to President Biden. This is just days before the weekend deadline. However, there are several important things that have been added to the plan that the American people need to be aware of. My dear friends, please make sure that you watch until the end of this video. Also, every Friday, I will be announcing several winners for the Walmart gift card giveaway. If you would like to enter the weekly giveaway, friends, please click and like several of my videos and then comment below the keyword of each video that you watch. The more videos that you comment on, friends, the greater your chances of winning these weekly giveaways. The Senate has just passed legislation to extend funding for federal agencies, sending the bill to avert a government shutdown to President Biden's desk just days before the weekend deadline. This bill represents a marked de-escalation between congressional Democrats and new House Speaker Mike Johnson. Without the new spending measure called a continuing resolution, the government would have to shut down just after midnight on Saturday, forcing federal workers to work without pay or go on furlough on the eve of the Thanksgiving holiday. Speaker Johnson rebuffed calls from the House GOP's hard right flank to include major spending cuts and controversial policy provisions, so the bill could attract Democratic votes in the lower chamber. Those concessions were enough to win easy bipartisan support in the Senate, which is far less concerned with spending debates. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer said on the Senate floor, "I have good news for the American people. Because of bipartisan cooperation, we are keeping the government open." The legislation finances the government at current spending levels and staggers expiration dates for the funding. Approximately 20% of the federal funding will be financed through January 19th, and the remaining 80% until February 2nd, 2024. The structure had drawn ridicule from Senate Democrats, almost up until the moment they agreed to vote for it. If the federal government shuts down on Saturday, numerous publicly funded agencies will stop work and their employees will not be paid. But Social Security checks will still go out. Social Security is considered a mandatory program, and it's not funded by the shorter-term appropriation bills passed by Congress and signed by the president. So that means its operations and funding do not stop when the government shuts down. That's important for a large number of Americans, as about 67 million people receive monthly Social Security benefits. Those benefits go primarily to retirees, but also to individuals with disabilities, as well as dependents of deceased beneficiaries. Medicare and Veterans Affairs benefits also continue to be distributed during a shutdown. In the event of a shutdown, non-essential actions would stop, and 4 million federal employees would not receive paychecks. Some, including members of the military, would work without pay and would receive back pay later on, after a new funding bill is passed and signed into law. Other federal employees would be furloughed and would not report to work, and a shutdown would stop many other federal programs and services. The Biden administration said in September, when a shutdown looked likely, that the Special Supplemental Nutrition Program for Women, Infants, and Children, also known as WIC, would stop operating 1 or 2 days into a shutdown. Agriculture Secretary Tom Vilsack said that some states may be able to keep their programs running a bit longer than that. WIC is a program intended to help low-income pregnant and postpartum women, as well as children under age 5, access healthier food. According to the Agriculture Department, more than 6 million Americans received WIC benefits each month in 2022, including about 39% of all U.S. infants. A long shutdown could harm the economy. The longest shutdown lasted for more than 35 days, from December 22, 2018 to January 25, 2019. And the Congressional Budget Office estimated that it could cost the U.S. economy at least $11 billion directly, with indirect costs that were harder to quantify. A U.S. government shutdown should not be confused with a debt ceiling standoff. The United States reached its borrowing limit, called the debt ceiling, early this year. That standoff could have prevented Social Security checks from going out had it lasted long enough. But after a prolonged impasse, congressional Republicans and Democrats agreed on a deal to prevent it. Well, my greatest and my most beautiful friends, that is the end of my daily stimulus update video for today. Dear friends, thank you very much for being part of this community. To say thank you and to show my appreciation, every Friday I will be announcing several winners for the Walmart gift card giveaway. If you would like to enter the weekly giveaway, friends, please click and like several of my videos and then comment below the keyword of each video that you watch. The more videos that you comment on, dearest friends, the greater your chances of winning these giveaways. Thank you, and have a wonderful and very blessed week.